So how does COVID-19 compare against other deadly outbreaks that have happened in the past in America and around the world? Stay tuned and we'll show you something really interesting. Welcome to another episode of WS Matrix. If you like to get more videos like this, consider subscribing to our channel. First, let's talk about the history of pandemics. On the Visual Capitalist site, there's a great visualization talking about what had happened throughout history. We can see that throughout history, infectious disease has been there with the human race all along. Even in this modern era, outbreaks are certain to happen. Let's go through some histories, most deadly pandemics from the antonine plague to COVID-19. Nearly 2,000 years ago, around 165 AD to 180 AD, the antonine plague had begun. An estimated 5 million people have died. Next would be the plague of Justinian, which started during 541 AD. 30 to 50 million people have died. Starting 735 AD, the Japanese smallpox epidemic killed about 1 million. Starting 1350 AD, the Black Death, otherwise known as the bubonic plague, killed almost 200 million people. Starting 1520 AD, smallpox has taken 56 million lives. Throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, a series of what's better known as, quote, Great Plagues, unquote, routinely ravaged cities across Europe. The 17th century Great Plagues had taken around 3 million lives. And the 18th century Great Plagues, which was during 1700 AD, took about 600,000 lives. Around 1817 AD and 1923 AD, Cholera 6 outbreak took 1 million lives. In 1855 AD, what was called the Third Plague took about 12 million lives. In the late 1800s, yellow fever took about 100,000 to 150,000 lives. Then came the Russian flu in 1889, which took 1 million lives. In 1918 AD, the Spanish flu became the worst pandemic of the time, and it has taken 40 to 50 million lives. The Spanish flu can be compared to the recent COVID-19 in terms of the way it spreads. Fast forward to recent history. We can see that the Asian flu has taken 1.1 million lives in 1957 to 1958. This is followed by the Hong Kong flu in 1968 to 1970, which took about 1 million lives. You've all heard of HIV or AIDS. It was first identified in 1981 and has been spreading to this day. During its 40-year course, it has taken about 25 to 35 million lives. It's important to note that it took medical scientists and researchers decades to come up with good treatment for this that allows people to live a fairly normal life. More recently, SARS virus outbreak in 2002 and 2003 took about 770 lives. The swine flu outbreak during 2009 to 2010 took about 200,000 lives. In 2012 to the present, MERS has taken 850 lives. Then Ebola outbreak took about 11,000 lives in 2015 and 2016. Ebola was pretty deadly, but surprisingly it did not spread as far. This illustrates the importance of factoring in the modes of how a virus spreads. Sometimes, despite being very deadly, it may not be able to spread as fast. And finally, we have COVID-19, which began in 2019 and killed over 4.5 million people worldwide so far. And it's still in the process of spreading. Here's a nice visualization of how many people have died from each pandemic so far. The bubonic plague, or the Black Death, stands out to be the biggest here, while SARS outbreak appears to be the smallest. We can see COVID-19 at the bottom second row standing at 4.5 million. It may not look as big as the bubonic plague or smallpox or the Spanish flu or HIV. Keep in mind that it has not completely run its course yet. COVID-19 is now officially the deadliest outbreak in American history. It's even surpassed the 1918 influenza pandemic in terms of the number of fatalities. The U.S. deaths attributed to COVID has crossed 680,000 as of late September. Every day there are about 2,000 fatalities adding to that total. The fast-spreading Delta variant would be largely responsible for the recent deaths. Compare this to 1918, when the flu killed an estimated 675,000 Americans in total, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. COVID-19 isn't done yet, and the variants are spreading fast. However, it's also the first time in history that humans were able to intervene a pandemic by inventing their own vaccine and able to slow it down within 2 years of its discovery. Thank you for visiting our channel. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to smash that like button. Click on the like button and feel free to post a comment down below. If you have any ideas or suggestions on what content you'd like to see in the future, please be sure to comment. We try to read every comment from our viewers. Giving us a like helps our channel grow. Consider subscribing to our channel so you can continue to be updated on our latest videos. Hope to see you again in another video. Until next time.